right, welcome back. So she's a wife, mother, relational psychologist, and surgeon.
Dr. Yolanda George David is an international multiple award-winning public speaker.
She's also an award-winning radio host and a human rights activist. She is the anchor of Sharing Life's Issues with Antlanda. She's a popular counseling and empowerment radio talk show host, and it's so exciting to have her join us this morning.
Good morning,
Hello, Antlanda.
Good morning, good morning. I'm with family, so that's okay.
So when we say it's strange to be saying Antlanda to someone who's so young.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, so that's a really great way to start this. So how did the name Antlanda come to be?
Basically, African sentiment. When I came here I was posted from Baghdad, and then I started the children and their parents. The first show we ever had was I need sexually abused kids to come out and meet me, and everyone said no one is sexually abused here. And so in 2012 we had 767 kids come out, all tested positive to our rape kit, and they had been recently sexually abused within the past 72 hours, and they did not know how to call me Yolanda. They were calling me Hollandia, and then for Hollandia they decided okay, they will call me Aunt Hollandia, and eventually we took out the U and it became Antlanda.
Antlanda. So Antlanda is known for many different things, but these days we know that you run different types or different foundations.
Yeah.
So which one is the most in the most forefront now?
Okay, it's actually one foundation with different branches.
Okay.
So Atlanta Bethel Foundation has the Atlanta Teenage Bethel Foundation, and then the Atlanta Open House. Under the Open House, we have flagship programs like the Atlanta Market Square that is going to be holding on the 23rd of September. It's the only market square in the world. That was what they said our first edition was in 2017.
Okay.
2016, I feel I'm in 2018, I beg your pardon. But it was on 24th, the day to my birthday. I was born on Christmas Day. We created a whole market square where everything anybody needs, and we decided to humanize charity, because I was worried people give people gifts and then make the receiver look like they are less human. And so what we did now is to create a market square. There's food stuff, there's clothes, and then people came with their children, and their children actually pointed to what they wanted.
And you were giving these items for free?
It wasn't actually given. The children, their parents bought. People decided to buy ram, fish, chicken, anything, clothes. A child who was 9 years old, his mother got to buy an apple. We say buy because we create the money like monopoly money, so we physicalize love. But it takes me like 6 weeks to stock. We're already stocking up.
I actually have to take you back there now, because we have to go back to, what the foundation actually does. Okay. Because there are probably some people that, we've heard about the fact that you've been working with abused kids.
Yes.
But what does the foundation do to help those abused kids specifically?
Think of Google and the fact that Google gathers all of the algorithms of any questions and answers imputed, and then it gives you back based on the amount of times it's clicked. At the foundation, we are more like a shopping mall. Bethel emphasis on rest. So our doors are open, and when you come in, there's a concentration on physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, and then these days we have decided to involve psychosocial abuse. That way we can actually handle the heightened rate of pretentious Christians and even Muslims that we have in the town. So they are not actually emotionally abused, but they are living in a projected reality. And so they are able to come for psychosocial counseling.
Do you have a group of counselors that work with you?
Yes, we have 300 centers across Lagos. Each center has 300 vocational centers and 300 counseling centers, 300 consultants that also work. Each counseling center has 2 counselors, and all our counselors always have to get update trainings.
Wow. So a lot of these things, I mean, there's so many stories you've heard since 2012. And you encounter children like almost on a daily basis that you have to counsel and do interventions.
We actually rescue. We have a suicide watch center, and then we also have a rescue team. Our rescue team is constituted of 200 power bikes and 100 pickups. And like last night, we received 33 calls of sexual abuse, and we rescued 11 of them.
Wow.
So we could have a very light week, but this past week we've had from Sunday we rescued 52 kids, and then so we always have, it depends, especially towards the end of the month when there's frustration and a lot of men are not able to afford prostitutes because they are out of their regular funding, and women too, because we have sexually abused boys too, they now take it on a lot of people around them, their kids.
So right now I have to say that there are a lot of people that don't believe that this abuse is happening.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that think of it as completely out of the box. It doesn't happen. It's just a lie. What's the first response you have to people that think that way?
1 in 3 women have been sexually abused by the time they turn 18 in West Africa. I've been working in Nigeria since 2012, and from counseling hundreds of thousands of women and projects I worked with at the beginning with your husband, Oscar, you see that 1 in 6 boys have also been sexually abused. Every month we send 2 or 3 boys to India for surgeries, rectal correction surgeries, because they are on diapers. And the fact that there is a vehement denial proves that it is in existence. The problem is what people will say, and the African perception of perfection in the family is the reason why we have a whole lot of smoke with a whole lot of covering of it's a lie, blood of Jesus. But the truth is, everybody has actually either been sexually abused, physically abused, or emotionally abused.
All right, so Dr. Landa, I mean, you've talked about so many things, and a lot of these stories are very heartbreaking. For you as a person who you have this vision to really help people, how do you stay positive? How do you go from day to day? How do you wake up in the morning and just continue to engage and be driven in what you do?
Okay. First things first, I think I am just blessed to have like a shock absorber at home. That's my king at home. It takes a lot of the crap. And secondly, I have been sick almost all my life. I know what pain is. And so this is not something I do because I want. Of course, I'm a surgeon, I'm a professional, and that's one life. But this is why I live. My whole idea is that no one should ever go to bed without getting a sort of relief. Remember, relief is not just listening. Relief is actually creating an intentional escape plan for the person. So, hey, yeah, sorry, God will help you is very beautiful. But come into counseling, I will talk about your pain. We show you how to create things, and we show you how to no longer become a victim but a survivor. We have pity parties in this town as foundations and NGOs because pity parties sell and they bring marketers. But the more I say to you, sorry, you remain a victim. The more I say to you, you're a survivor, so you need to go through your pain, because I went through my hell. I was never sexually abused, but I went through nights where I was so sick, I was in so much pain, and my faith-filled parents kept on saying to me, be strong, do not cry. And so after a while, I became recluse. So I know the importance of speaking, and I know the importance of being listened to. When we see each other in this town, we say, how are you? Not because we want to know how you're feeling. We ask you, how are you? Because it is the socially is the socially right etiquette that you should. So actually, how are you? Before you say how you're fine. If you say your rent is expired, I go in competition with you and say your own is better. At least you're in Dolphin, your rent has expired. I am in Mushin. So it's a competition of who is having it worse, not who can help who. And so with everybody pulling down, at the end of the day, I cannot afford to be like the rest of the crowd who would rather be invested in their life. So if everyone is invested, very few people know what pain is, and I do know what pain is, and so I feel it's best to give relief.
Can I ask you if there's someone right now that's watching that needs assistance? Maybe they've been going through abuse for years and they've not had the chance to speak out. What is the advice you would give them?
Okay, very simple. Whether you've been physically abused, emotionally abused, or sexually abused, or you're in a relationship and you're stuck because you feel you cannot do better, you are homeless, or someone tells you about the show, the whole idea is you need to know that, one, you're not alone. Two, as long as you say, I wish, I wish, I wish, action never happens. The fact that I want to hold your hand doesn't mean that your life is going to be easy, but there's a guarantee. You pick up your phone, you call us, you contact us on any of our numbers, as God is our witness, and by God's grace, you would have hard days, but you will not face them alone.
Oh, wow. Oh, thank you so much, Aunt Landa, for that.
Really.
This is, I mean, just a few minutes, but, you know, I'm feeling so inspired.
Honestly, if we keep Aunt Landa on the couch here, we'll probably round off the show with her as well. Yeah. But I also have to go back to the question Yomi asked, you know.
Well, I think we have to round off now.
We do?
We have to go to
oh, my goodness. You see, I was already getting carried away.
Yeah, we've got to go to... We've got to go now, but thank you so much for joining us
on the show. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure.
We hope to also have you regularly join us.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So just give us a few minutes. Now, as the summer holiday gradually comes to an end, children all over the country will be going back to school, while some of the kids take time to rest. Others, especially some of the kids resident in Lagos, were occupied with learning different arts and works of the indigenous norms and values of the people of Lagos State, courtesy of the Lagos State Council for Arts and Culture. Let's take a look at this report on the summer cultural integration by Ozzy Okoli.
Living up the mission statement that set it up to preserve, propagate and promote the culture of Lagos State, the State Council for Arts and Culture organized a summer cultural integration for kids living within the state.
Lagos being a cosmopolitan city, Yoruba people, who are the original settlers here, their culture seems to be eroding as parents are now failing to speak the traditional local dialects to their children. We decided that we should attract these parents and their children and run this program during the long vacation for 2 weeks so that the children can be exposed to creative knowledge in art and craft, tie and dye batik or adire making, painting, dances, music, exposure into the knowledge of the nuances of our culture.
The children were able to learn and create different works of art using recycled materials.
It was very, very exciting to see them, their own excitement and how much they've put into this. I especially liked all the little arts work, the recycling work. You know, disposable things and waste are a big thing all over the world.
A constant presentation of indigenous programs such as this will not only engage the children positively, but will also impact good and viable moral values in them.
All right, so we'll go on a commercial break now, but when we come back, Mike and Titi will be reviewing an app that we believe is important to every woman. After this.
Okay, so I've got Titi here in the house. This is quite cool.
As in, this is different, isn't it?
All right. Okay, so it's Tech DIY. Today, there are so many apps in the market that cater to women and their needs. Now, today on Tech Tuesday, we will be looking at an app that has become the fastest rising app in the women's health category. It's the Clue Connect app. It's just quite cool. Right now, it's an app which describes itself as a simple and secure way for you to give information about your monthly cycle to partners, friends, and family. Now, it makes it easier to connect with the important people in your life and open up the conversation about that time of the month, fertility, and health issues. Okay, so Titi is here with me, and we are going to be looking taking a review of this particular app.
Okay, so you know, Mike, when you brought this up yesterday, I was so floored that you even came across it.
Yeah.
But one thing I can tell you is that I find it very, very interesting, very, very effective. But when it comes to apps, people are kind of adverse to putting in information. So very simply what it does is it helps you to track your cycle. Now, it's not just the days of the month where you experience your monthly cycle.
Okay.
No, not just that. It also tells you about other times of the month where you are considered more fertile.
Okay, you know what happens? Before we go into this now, let's take them a walk through how, from the beginning, how you can, you know, download the app. You get to your, they'll see images now. You get to your app store, and then of course you check for Clue Connect. Clue spelled C-L-U-E. All right, and then you download the app, like you can see there, and then it comes up with the information. They ask you for your details. You can sign in either via Facebook or via Google or via your email. You sign in via your email.
Yes, I used my email. I used my email because I prefer, you know, not to have my information on like Facebook. You know, like I wouldn't want to use, you know, just to be a little bit safer. And I love the idea of the fact that the app can actually send me direct notifications to say, oh, Titi, on so days you're considered more fertile, or on so days you should expect to feel some mood swings. On so days you should be expecting to have your monthly cycle. Now, some people might not understand the importance of this. The fact that there are sharing mechanisms in the app means that, for instance, if you and your husband are having plans to have children, it means that he can be on the same page with you.
Okay, but then before we go on also, let's continue. After you put in your details, you put in all of that, then you have to now put in how you expect your cycle, right?
Okay, so
there's also that image that comes up.
So let me break it down for you. There are different icons on the face of the app. So when you put in your information, they'll ask you certain questions.
Okay, but before we get
to
to
those
this,
questions.
No, Titi, hold on. Before we get to this, the process is that they put in their cycle, how often it is, maybe 5 days, 7 days, and all of that, which is what you see now. So you put in that cycle, and then with the information it gets, it now moves to the next phase where it gets it into this calendar mode, which is the final interface.
Which is what I was trying to show you. Exactly. So once you put in all your information, and please don't be shy about putting your information in there. It's really secure, and it's by a company based in Berlin. So you're really covered in that area. It's not going to go out to the whole world. It's private. But once you put in your information, it helps the app to actually figure you out and give you a better perspective of what to expect during the month. Like, for instance, if I have the opportunity to share these notifications with my husband, for instance, he knows that, oh, on certain days in the month, I might be a little bit more moody. You know, I might not feel very comfortable for certain activities. And if you're planning for a child, then you can also sync your schedule with him, and you know when to get busy and when not to get busy.
All right. Let me use that word. Exactly. What you see now is the process. That is about the final stage. After you've imputed all the details that you need, those are the processes it takes you through. And then immediately after that, you get to the final interface. Now, Titi, let's look at the practicability. Like, how does this work? When you get to the calendar, that final stage, as you can see there, the calendar stage, what do those icons mean? What do they stand for?
Okay, so there's the cloud icon. So the cloud icon basically tells you that you are during the PMS period, which is like, it's considered premenstrual syndrome, kind of like a lot of different reactions are happening with the woman at that time. But it means that, you know, your period is coming. So some women come out in pimples, some people, you know, just feel a lot more tired. Some even feel more energized and energetic, but it really just depends on you. There are other icons, like the red spot icon tells you when, you know, your period has actually started. Then there's also the blue window, which is considered your fertile window, and that shows you how many days you're going to be fertile in a particular month. Now, of course, all these are hypotheticals, you know, and, you know, God is in control. But technology is important.
It's important, right?
For you to get, you know, the gauge. And it even goes further because there are parents with teenagers at home and they don't know how to explain these things to them. So if you are a parent of a young girl who is probably just going through these changes, you need to get this app, download it, and go through it. There are articles, blog facts, and everything talking about every single aspect of becoming a woman. And it really helps. I was reading through quite a bit. I was actually engrossed in what was going on in this app.
This was what you just showed us now. This process, this final,
yes.
this one. Yeah.
So
what's this one for now?
Okay, so this is, I think, the different levels of flow is involved there.
Different levels of flow, yes.
Yes.
It's quite graphical. You can see it there.
That's the thing. I like the fact that this app is straight to the point and it's not hiding anything. It's 2017. We have to get our mindset away from coding everything and keeping everything in your back pocket. There are people that need this information and it is out there. And hopefully you can download this app and find out more about how exactly
you can make it work for you.
Yes, exactly. Especially for people that want to start families.
And then, okay, when it comes to a number of young ladies out there, they might feel that this is not very important, you know.
Okay.
They come up and be like, look, like you said something, at times it's hypothetical.
Okay.
How much do you think you can trust this?
Okay, so it does depend on how truthful you are about the information you put in there.
Okay.
These guys have been in existence for quite a while now, I think over 5 years.
Okay.
And they've been able to also upgrade their systems and improve on it based on research they've done.
Great one.
Trust me, they would have done research in different continents,
Great one.
all over the world,
All right.
and compared different types of women, different ages, different weights, blood group. They've actually done so much to make sure that this is as
Titi is
efficient
extremely
as possible.
passionate about this.
I am.
If I let Titi go on, we will just end Wake Up Nigeria here. But then, that's the much you can take on this. Thank you very much. I saw this app, wonderful app. We had to have a lady here review it, and that's what she did. Okay, so let's move on and let's see how far Tolu and Mary have gone with the bread roll.
Hi guys.
So we've been making bread rolls and she's going to take us through the process. Tolu is going to show us exactly how it's supposed to be rolled and how you put it in your oven. Just take a look.
Alright, so we already have our batch in the oven, so I just saved some left to show you guys how to roll this. So first of all, I rolled it into a log like this. And I divided it into equal parts. So this is the last piece, and all I'm going to do is I try to flour my surface a bit and put butter in my hand so that I can, like, it can have some moisture.
You put butter
in
your hand. You don't put butter on this?
No.
Not necessary.
You could, but because this is a silicone,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. If I was using a full wood or a proper rolling pin, I would need to. So all I just do is that I'm just going to go and try and flour it lightly because we don't need flour, so it doesn't get too thick.
Oh, okay.
So we're just going to, it's something you have to be patient.
Makes it thick.
Yes, because you're adding more texture to it. So just going to go over it little by little. Just, you might not be able to get it all out at once, but see, it's working out.
Why roll? Why not just leave it as a lump?
Yeah, you could do that because
you could.
Yes, you could. Well, right now we're doing a bread roll.
Not
so
just
we need
bread.
it to be rolled, and by the time we roll it, when we bake it, you see the texture inside. You see some nice looking patterns.
Okay.
So right now I'm just gonna roll it.
You make it look so easy.
It is easy, trust me.
Yeah, says the chef.
So. Well, we could actually add it because our batch is in the oven right now and it's not in the oven baking. Okay, what I did is that, because you have to proof bread. So when you're proofing bread, you have to like put it in a hot place so you can double in size or increase in size basically. So what I did was I preheated my oven, turned it off, popped in my the bread there so I can rise. Okay. Then once it gets to the time when it's supposed to start baking, I'll turn the oven back up. So I just needed the heat to hasten the rising process. Oh. So I'm just going to put egg over it. This is what's going to give it that golden brown look. Have you seen all this bread that you see in the supermarket that the top is really brown and nice looking? Is because the egg washed it.
This is the simple secret.
That is it.
This doesn't make it crispy or something, just that golden brown.
No,
you know how so many things are added.
Help with the door.
Sure.
So I'm just going to add this inside.
Oven.
I just put it in the space here.
The others are rising quite nicely.
So.
Wow. The yeast is doing its job. I have a feeling you have a surprise for us though.
Yes.
Okay. Many thanks for that, Tolu. I can't wait for the bread to get ready. But right now, we're going to go on a commercial break. There's a lot more coming on Wake Up Nigeria this morning, so you stay with us.